What up, everyone? Back for another video. Time to review some boxes. So I was waiting on one box to come in so I could have a more, full of boxes video. And we're doing it more often now. So now we're usually just going to see one box per company versus the normal 2 or 3 waiting a quarterly thing to do the video. Because I like doing these videos. It's what I know best. It's how the channel got started, so I'd like to do these more often. And there's not a lot happening right now. As I said, there's not too much going on video-wise. That's why I've been doing a lot of news videos. But we'll do this, we'll do another nerdy news, and then we have a bunch of cool movies coming out for the summer, so we'll be doing those as well. We got Black Widow and Space Jam and a bunch of other cool shit coming up, so things to look forward to. Other than that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 boxes here. So you're not going to see the quarterly boxes because those haven't come around. Those were in the last video. So these are all the monthly. And we have one of each, except for Geek Fuel. We have 2 of those, but they're good about getting their boxes on time. Everyone else is usually pretty late. So we'll have one of each of those. And as you can see, we have Wolf back in here because now we have matching hair. So yes, and also feel free to enter the giveaway at any time. If you need to know the rules, there's a separate video. Search for giveaway rules to learn what you have to do to enter the giveaway. You'll post a link of this somewhere else. And all this stuff over here somewhere, we have a bunch of free giveaway stuff, so feel free to enter that at any time. Other than that, enough introduction. Let's just start getting into these boxes. First off, we have a new box, one I haven't tried before. This box is Zobie. Zobie Productions, I believe they go by. And this company is a holy shit show of a company. So I was recommended by a few subscribers this box because it was supposed to be like BAM Box but better. Supposedly, from what I've been told, this is the company that BAM used to go through to get all their autographs. I don't know exactly how true that is, but I believe it. It makes sense. So it makes sense that they would make a better box. So I thought I'd check them out. But the problem with that was, and one of the things right off the bat that I don't like about them, is they're not a subscription box. And I know that's specific to me. Some people don't like subscriptions. Some people just like to pick and choose. So for me, that doesn't work out so well because it's very hard for me to be up to date on that stuff. Subscription boxes are easy. I made the subscription for these one time, like 6 years ago for a lot of these, and I just didn't have to do anything else. Everything else is taken care of. I like that. I don't have time to constantly go back and repurchase boxes. I like that they just come on their own. So that doesn't really work out for me. And it's also hard because these boxes sell out pretty quickly. So some people like to be able to pick and choose. It's very difficult for me. But, that's the difference of me versus other people. That's not really a bad sign or anything like that. And honestly, I'm not sure why they don't do monthly subscriptions. It seems like it would be a better business strategy to do subscriptions just because they have continuous money coming in. But that may not be a huge concern of theirs considering their boxes do sell out every time. So money may not be their main concern, but I'm not totally sure. So, about this company and my experiences with them, and then we're going to get into what's actually in the box and see if it actually is better than BAM Box. I'm not really seeing it, to be quite honest, but, my opinion doesn't matter. It's up to you to decide. So I'll give you all the information, and you can decide for yourself. So I checked out this company, and much like BAM Box, they have monthly subscription boxes based on category. They have animation, they have pop culture, horror, all the basic stuff, just like all the other subscription companies do. And you can buy autograph stuff on their own. Again, much like BAM, much like the Collector's Case did. They have autographs you can just purchase, a sure thing where you're guaranteed an autograph. That's not necessarily a box most of the time. It's just usually that autograph. And they have a lot of great people on there, as do a lot of these companies. But I usually don't ever purchase those. It's driving me crazy. I usually don't ever purchase those because they're just really expensive. I looked up all the people they had on the Zobie website. Really cool people. Honestly, all people I recognize, all people I'd like to have an autograph from, but not people that I'm willing to spend $60, $70, $80, $100, $120 for. They're cool people and I'd like to have their autographs, but I just don't have that kind of money to throw around all the time. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't buy those because there's a good chance that those people that are signing stuff regularly, they might show up in a box. And it was the same with BAM, same with Collector Case, that they're really cool people, just not quite worth the money. However, they did have one for Jim Cummings on there. And again, I usually don't, but that kind of got to me because if you don't know, I'm a major Winnie the Pooh fan. These tattoos I have here are all storybook Winnie the Pooh that I got at near the actual 100 Acre Wood in London, so I'm a huge fan of that. It was my favorite book as a kid. It's like one of the only Disney characters I like, so it really is something personal for me. And Jim Cummings, that voice, was pretty much the voice of all the cartoons and everything, so I thought, I never really buy autographs, but I'll do it this one time. It was $80. They had the opportunity to have like a pop figure signed, but it was an additional charge, and you also have to supply the pop figure and then pay for shipping, and there was also a date you had to do it by, which I had already missed. I would have much rather had a pop figure than an 8x10, but I didn't want to pay extra, didn't want to pay for shipping, and honestly, I had missed the deadline anyway, so it didn't really matter. So I paid the $80, and I was going to get that at some point, and they had a box that was available, so I just ordered it. I didn't care what category it was. Normally, I'll pick and choose the right category, but this time I just kind of went for it because I just needed a box. It's been like 6 months since this was recommended, and I haven't had the opportunity to get a box, so whatever it was, I just got it. No problem. $40, no big deal. I had to pay shipping on each of them. Fine, it was expensive, but I felt like it was worth it. Now, I should have paid more attention because after I placed the order, I made a closer look at what the subscription box was, and it was animation. And one of the TV shows that was featured on there was Winnie the Pooh, which I thought was kind of weird and coincidental. It's like, well, that's not good. Like, what if that Jim Cummings autograph that I paid $80 for comes in this $40 box? And I thought, well, that's probably not likely that they're going to charge double and then also put it in the box. So it's not very likely. And also that kind of seems like a dick move to charge people double for just an autograph and to put it in a box anyway. That seems kind of shitty and shady. So I was not too worried about it. But just to be safe, I reached out to him to cancel that autograph just to be sure. Because it's not like I got a discount ordering them together. I had to pay shipping twice in that order anyway. So I thought, well, I'll cancel that just in case. And if it doesn't happen to be in the box, I'll just reorder it. It shouldn't make any difference in the price or anything like that. So I reached out to Zobie, said, hey, I ordered this autograph. I just like to cancel that. Just give me the box. No big deal. Never heard back. So I reached out to them again. Hey, I just wanted to let you know I wanted to cancel this. I want to let you know before anything is shipped, because I know once it's shipped, I can't return it because sales are final. So please cancel that. Never heard back. They also said that VShout is kind of I don't know if it's a separate company, but they had a different email address to email. They said if you have any problems with VShout, email us here. I said, okay. Email VShout, said, the people at Zobie aren't responding. I just want to cancel this autograph before anything gets signed or anything like that. And never heard back. Again, wasn't too worried about it because it wasn't likely that they'd pull a dick move like that. Now, onto the box. They did pull a dick move like that because the autograph was Jim Cummings. Had I not ordered that $80 autograph, I'd be ecstatic because I was really excited to get that. And I think it's very shitty and kind of shady that they do that. And I don't really understand why. Why are they charging people double the price for something that's half as good? Like I stated before, you could have gotten the 8x10 for that $80 price if you paid extra and supplied the pop and paid for shipping for the pop. You would have gotten that too. That would have come out to probably like, I don't know, $105, $115, something like that. Far more expensive. So you got something better for less than half the price. Had I paid that $80, I would have just gotten an 8x10 and that's it. Why? Why are they doing that? Doesn't that seem a little bit odd to anyone else that they would charge double the price to unsuspecting people knowing that they're putting it in a $40 box? Doesn't that kind of seem shitty and shady, honestly? And yeah, it kind of is. It doesn't make any sense that they would charge double for it. Now, keep in mind one thing to mention, that the autograph portion, the $80 one, that one, you had the opportunity to have it customized. So you could have it made out to you. You can put your name in it. That person could write a message. So some people could argue that that gives it more value. But double the value? I don't think so. And honestly, the order that I made, I had nothing customizable about it. I didn't want my name on there. I didn't want a special note. I just wanted the autograph. So if that's the case, shouldn't mine have only been $40? Why was it $80? And if it's so much better to have it customized, really double the price? And something else to note, when you do have something customized, it's completely ironic because it ruins the value. A lot of people don't realize this, but if you have something signed by someone famous, increases the value. Once you have it customized, like say they put your name on there, completely ruins the value. It's not necessarily worthless, but it brings the value down significantly, because if you ever did want to sell it, not saying that you do, but if it came the time where you wanted to sell that figure, it'd be much harder to do because nobody wants a figure with your name on it. I wouldn't want a figure with someone's famous autograph with some random person's name on there. That decreases the value significantly. So that argument kind of goes out the window. It's the same thing with comic books like when we were kids. A lot of kids wrote their names in it or something like that. We weren't vandalizing it. It was ours. We wrote our names in comic books or whatever collectibles we had. It's just something we did. It didn't seem to be vandalism, but it completely destroyed the value because you couldn't resell it later because it was seen to other people as damage, even though it was just that. The same sense, autographing it, customizing it completely ruins the value. So I really don't understand why they're doing this. Why they couldn't have just given me a heads up, like, hey, we noticed you ordered these two together, like, maybe don't do that, or maybe just order one because you might get a duplicate. Just something like that. I think it's really crappy of them to have done that at the same time. You know, it would have been one thing if they released the box, then once all the boxes were out and everyone saw how cool this was, then had an opportunity for people to order autographs separately that missed out on this. That I would have been okay with. Still not okay with them charging double, but it would have been more understandable because it would have been a second chance for the people to get that autograph. But putting them both for sale at the exact same time, really shitty. And why is it double the price? Can someone explain that to me? Why it's double the price for an 8x10 and for a pop that's much nicer and much more collectible is far less in a $40 box? Makes absolutely no sense, and it just kind of shows the morals of this company. Back to the fact that they were not responding at all, and they still haven't responded to me. It's been months. I ordered that autograph 2 months ago, and I know it takes time. I know these actors, so to speak, have their own lives. I understand that. From what I know, Jim Cummings recently got fired, from what I heard, so I don't know how much he's doing, but that's not my place to say. But, you know, I understand it takes time, but there was no update whatsoever. 2 months into it, not like, hey, just so you know, this autograph's going to take this amount of time. Or, hey, just so you know, you missed this wave, you'll be in on the next wave. Anything, any piece of information at all, nothing. And I even reached out to them multiple times to cancel it, or even to just get an update. Any kind of tracking information, a shipping date, something. Nothing. Nothing at all from this company. So at this point, they've essentially just stolen my money. They have my $80 plus shipping, and they just have it. They haven't sent me the other autograph. They haven't refunded my money. They haven't responded. So essentially at this point, they're just thieves. And that's the story of that. So let's get into this box and see the quality of this box. So we got the figure here. And I do like the Pooh figure. I'm very happy with Jim Cummings, don't get me wrong. I'm happy I at least got one autograph. They may never send the other one. Who fucking knows? But I got this one, and that's cool. I like that it was on a pop figure. I prefer it that way versus an 8x10, just because I have so many 8x10s from Bandbox and things like that. I like them to be on figures. I prefer it this way. I cherish this. This is really cool. And it's from I hope, a credible company that they may have some shady business dealings, so that makes me question what their authenticity is, but they do have it from supposedly JSA, and they got all the information there, so I'm going to go ahead and trust that the autograph is real and not question that. So that's very cool. Then we got a pin, and there was the option of 2 pins. This one was from Daria, and yeah, great, very similar to Bandbox, a little bit bigger than Bandbox's pins are, but you know, quality-wise, about the same size difference. Like, that's very similar to Bandbox, and they gave 2 options, much like Bandbox does. And then the rest of the box, this piece of metal with Doug on it. That's it. Let me just let that sink in for a minute. Pop, pin, piece of metal. This is the box that's better than Bandbox. I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing it. And there's nothing special about this. There's no information on it. There's no company branding. There's no artist on it. There's no numbering. There's no limited edition. Literally just a piece of metal with holes on it with a picture of Quailman, by the way, Doug Quailman. And it's honestly kind of shitty art. It's not even that great. It's not horrible, but it's not particularly good on a piece of metal. Why? I mean, how is that better than Bandbox? You know, Bandbox doesn't always have the most amazing artists, but at least they have their prints signed. At least they have them numbered. That even though if it's not a good artist, at least it gives it some value. It gives it some rarity. And a lot of people collect a lot of the art prints from the Bandbox. They're quite collectible. Again, depending on the artist and things like that. But at least there's some value there. There's some effort. This is just a piece of metal. It's worth about as much as the metal. It's like if I went to my printer printed out a picture and handed it to you. Said, here's my gift to you. You're like, okay, thanks, I guess. Like, what do I do with this? You can put it on the wall, fine, like, sure, put it on the wall. But this just has no value, has no importance, it has no significance. There's just nothing to that. So I honestly don't really consider this an item. This is just kind of filler. It's like the artist cards that Bambox puts in there. That's nice of them. It's not like a bad thing, but it's not adding any sort of value to it. It's just kind of in there, much like this is. Not really value, just kind of in there. So essentially the box is the pop and the pin. Things that are of value, things that people might want, that's it. Those two things. In this tiny little box, which doesn't even have like a print on it, doesn't have their company name. They've been around long enough, like they can't get some custom boxes to show they're a professional company. There's just so many red flags that are popping up that just, I don't trust this company at all. I really don't. And I don't know that they're not stealing from me. And that makes me question a lot of other things about this company. So there it is, supposedly better than BAM. You know, one thing I will give them credit for, and what people will agree on, they say the signatures are better than Bambox, and honestly, debatable. I would say they do have some better people, but slightly better. Not significantly better, and not all the time. Bambox has some good people, and some nobodies, and I'm sure this company's the same way. They have some better people, and then some that are not so much better. So I'd say that you have a better chance of getting someone more significant, slightly more at Zobie than Bambox, but not significantly enough. And let's talk about the price. Bambox, $30. This one, $40. Bambox is a little under $10 to ship. This one's a little over $10 to ship. And that's based on me, so that price may vary a little bit. So we're in the just under 40 for BAM and just over 50 for Zobie. So roughly 30% more, costs 30% more to get Zobie than it does to get Bambox. And that's probably the quality, I would say, the autograph. Yeah, the autograph is probably 30% better most of the time. And then the rest of the box is pretty much crap. The pin is okay. The rest of it is completely useless. And this is a very sketchy company, so if something's wrong with your box, good fucking luck getting the things you're owed or getting your money back, because they legit don't respond. And why would they? Because they have my money, and I think that's the point here. That they want people's money and they don't actually care about any of their customers. Because once I've already paid for it, their job is done. They have my money. They don't really need to respond to me. So I don't know what it is. And I would say I'll give you an update the next time you get one of these boxes, but I don't know if I ever will. I'm not so bitter about it that I'm not willing to try another box from them, because I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'd like to try another box so I can at least compare 2 or 3 of them in a row, because I hate doing just one box and judging a company off that. I like to give companies at least the chance to defend themselves, that maybe there was just one bad box. So I don't know if I'm going to put a lot of effort into finding one, and who knows if they'll show up again because they sell it so quickly. So I'd like to say you'll see this again, but honestly, I don't know. And if they're stealing from me, I may have to file a lawsuit because, not to sound like a dick, but I don't know what else to do at this point. They're not giving me my product, and they have my money, and they won't respond. I may have to pursue legal actions. I don't know what else to do. So that's the story from Zobie. You pieces of shit, give me my money back. Let me know what you think about Zobie. I know there are a lot of people that recommended this box, and don't feel bad or anything like that. I'm not trying to attack you or anything like that. I appreciate you offering that to me. And again, sorry to sound bitter. I love the Jim Cummings autograph. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I'm more just bitter about my dealings with this company. But let me know in the comments. Is there anyone else that's had problems with Zobie? Am I just crazy? Am I the only one that's had problems? Please let me know. That information is very useful to me and the other people watching this video. So let me know your experiences, good or bad, with Zobie in the comments, and let's talk about it there. So, speaking of which, on this kind of subject, comparing it to the Bambox, so let's just go to the Bambox. And, you know, I'll be the first to admit, I'm not, like, over the moon about Bambox. I didn't mean to, like, try to say that, like, oh, they're just always better. Bambox has a rough time, too, sometimes. A lot of their autographs, they have some really good ones, but sometimes they have people that are just barely recognizable, and then sometimes it's people that I just legit don't recognize at all. And, you know, that happens. I'm sure the same thing happens with Zobie. I just don't know enough about it. So let's talk about that. This month, this is May, by the way, we got Superman from Smallville. I like that. I personally never watched Smallville. I was too young when it came out, and it went on for like 10 seasons, and I wasn't going to catch up. I heard it was good, though. I heard it didn't end well, but I heard the show was good, and I recognize the character, even though I've never seen it, so I like that. I'll keep that autograph. That's one that I'd say is recognizable. That's one of the ones that I'd say is comparable to Zobie. I think that's a fair trade right there. Then we got a pin, and they're doing the same thing, which I keep advising them not to do. They do one pin and then 3 variants. Like, just do all of them. Just make them even. Make 1 rare and make 3 common so we have the opportunity to collect them. Whatever. And then we got the Artist Alley. This print was kind of awkward. The artists on these have kind of been going downhill. When the box first started, they were getting some really well-known comic artists. Now I think they're leaning more towards fan art. And I think it does say this in here. Yeah, fan art. So this is just a fan of the bandbox. And nothing against that person. I'm sure they're a great artist, but that just brings down the collectability of it. But nonetheless, at least it is still signed. At least it is still numbered. Even though this artist may not be famous, that does give it some value, so that's still very much appreciated. As far as the quality of the print, I liked what they were going for. The whole sexy Jeff Goldblum thing. I like the pop that they did of that too. Very funny scene. Or not funny scene, but that pose has just become like a meme over the past few years. One of my favorite movies, Jurassic Park. Nothing wrong there, but the quality of the art was kind of like, okay, whatever. Then we got our prop item replica. This is from The Witcher. I gotta check the show out, by the way. I keep seeing collectibles from The Witcher, and I still haven't watched it. But this one's actually not bad. They've been very hit or miss with the prop replicas, like that Jumanji one. Like, I'm sorry, Bandbox, but that Jumanji one sucked. That was a terrible prop replica. This one's okay. I like when they do things in metal. Obviously, it's not nice metal. It's not silver or anything. I'm sure it's just surgical steel or something like that. But it's still nice. It gives it some value. It gives it some weight, so it looks realistic, and it looks like the prop. That's a good job. Good job, Bandbox. Well done. Some of the other ones, not so much. This is an example of when they've done good. I know it's much harder to cast things in metal, even cheap metal, but the quality is significantly better. Same with that goofy Jumanji piece from the last video. It was wood in the movie. If they made it in metal, it's not replica, but it still looks nicer. It still looks like it holds value, even though it may not, because it has some texture and weight to it. So that's one of the prop replicas that I think they did better. Then we got our artist select card in here. Same thing like I was saying with Zobie with that piece of metal. Has absolutely no value. It's not a bad thing they put it in there. It's still nice, and it's nice for those artists to have their art featured in there. So that's very cool, but not really any value there, so it just kind of is what it is. So right off the bat, this month versus Zobie is significantly better and significantly cheaper. So that's my opinion. But again, don't listen to me. You make your own opinions about that. If you think Zobie's way better, hey, go for them. If you think Bam's way better, you do you. I'm just here to give you all the facts. You make the decision yourself. So the rest of the boxes should go much quicker. Next, Marvel Collector Core. By the way, I'm so happy we're getting cards in there again. I don't know what COVID had to do with making printed cards. I'm not sure why they stopped. I'm really happy they're back in there. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me presenting. It's easier to look at a card. Speaking of which, Collector Core has not been doing that. They have not been putting cards in here, so I got to look in here. So we got a pin, which, they've been really cheaping out on the pins lately. They should put some kind of backing to it. It really wouldn't cost anything extra to just put a little piece of cardboard behind the pin, and it looks so much nicer. Versus just these like more tradable style pins that just don't look as good even on a pin board. So I wish they'd spend the extra 3 cents and put it on a backing and maybe put some art on it. That would make it so much better, and it would take very little effort to do. And then we got a shirt, which I'll talk about in a second, and then a sticker, which who the fuck cares, it's super cheap. And then 2 pop figures, which is kind of seems to be the pattern these days. 2 pops, pin, sticker / patch, and the shirt. So this one we got Nomad, Steve Rogers, and then we got World War II Ultimates Captain America. This is a Captain America box, and they did the traditional version of Nomad. So for those of you who don't know, if you watch Avengers Infinity War, that was Nomad. That they never actually said his name or addressed him as that, but Captain America at that stage was Nomad. Captain America without his shield, without the star, without that suit, is Nomad. That's what he was called when he went AWOL in various versions of the comic after Civil War, whatever comic you're reading. He went AWOL and stopped working for the U.S. government, took off his stars and stripes, and he went by a character named Nomad. Because that's what nomads did. They kind of traveled around and did their own thing. So I like the character, and just fun fact for you, that's who he was. But they went with the more traditional version of Nomad, which is fine, I guess. But I'm kind of happy to see him, because I don't think there has been a pop of him to date, as far as I know. So that's fine. And then the World War II Captain America, he looks good. They did a good job on it, but we've just gotten a lot of Captain Americas in that version of him too. So there's just a lot of Captain America stuff out there. So I don't think he needed a whole box, but you know, I'm not disappointed by that by any means. I think that was fine. Then onto the shirt. Different versions of Captain America through over the years. All there. Something I really wish they would change about this, they did before and they stopped, that I really kind of get bothered that everything has to be pop in here. It's a Funko box, and sometimes they'll mix it up with a pint-sized hero or a mystery mini, but we don't need everything pop. I like, fine, 2 pop figures, fine. But the shirt, like all these shirts, they have to make them look like the Funko Pop figures. When the box first came out, they just did shirts. They had the superheroes on them. I remember the first one had like Ultron. There was one with the villains. And it just looked in the hand-drawn comic book style. Great shirts. Have them to this day, like 5 years later. But then they do all these, the same when they were putting the comic in there. They did these variant covers that were pop figures, versions of the front cover. And it looks so stupid. Like, why? Like, why does everything have to be a pop figure? Does it really? Like, you can't just do those comic book characters? I would have totally loved this exact shirt of all the Captain Americas if it was comic book style. I would totally wear that and it would look awesome. But all these pop versions of Captain America, like, it's, I don't know, it just seems goofy and it seems kind of kiddish. And it's almost like, it just reminds me of like Legos. Nothing against Legos. Love Legos. Legos are cool. But I wouldn't want like a shirt with a bunch of Lego characters on there. Like maybe I would if I was really into it. But I just feel like it would be very kiddie to do. Which sounds bitterly ironic. But same with this. It's just, it's not that it's bad. It's not that I hate it or anything like that. But it seems like it's for kids more than it is for adults. And I'm just not a fan of that. I wish they would go back to the old style of just drawn comic book characters. Then this box would be significantly better. Again, little effort. Backing to the pin. Just do some regular artwork that doesn't look really plain and simplistic. Stylize it. Put some texture, not texture, but put some design quality into the picture, be so much better. Again, minimal effort from Funko to make this box significantly better. I know they're not going to do that with the shirt. I think the idea behind it is they're trying to promote. And it's not promoting them if you just have a t-shirt of Captain America. That's not promoting Funko, and they want you to promote Funko. So I get it, but at the same time, if nobody wants to wear it, is it really promoting Funko? I don't think so. And honestly, if I was wearing a badass shirt and everyone was like, yo, that shirt's badass, where'd you get it? I'd be like, Marvel Collector Course. Done. So I get what they're going for advertising-wise, but I think they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot by not putting more quality into it. So that's my advice to Funko. I know they don't care what I think, and I know they're not watching my videos, but maybe someday someone will, and they'll take that advice to heart. Getting dry mouth. All right. On to Geek Fuel. This one we actually got 2 boxes. And Geek Fuel's been doing really great lately. Once again, I was very cautious about them moving from their quarterly system to the monthly system, but they've been doing quite well. Now, on to these months. A box that is normally good, these months, not so great. Not bad or anything, but not their best quality stuff. So we'll start off with, I think this is May and June, I think. I'm not totally sure, but we got 2 here. The first one is the Monsters and Mogs. Mutants, Monsters, and Mogs. Sure. And we got a Super 7 reaction figure. Now, you had the choice of one of 2 Toxic Crusader figures. Fine. The Super 7 is becoming very collectible, so I get what they're going for there. I personally am not as fan of this quality of the Super 7. Now, you see these figures here. I'm hopefully showing a picture, and they look very similar to the traditional Super 7 reaction figures from Funko. Those were like $6 to $8. Quality is a little bit better, and now they're $18. And it says in there value $18, and that's true. A lot of companies will say value and they'll overvalue it, but no, that's how much they cost. And that's fucking crazy. Nothing against Geek Fuel. It's not their fault. This is against Super 7. That's so much. That is a ton of money. And it's not that these are bad figures. They're not bad at all. They're good figures, but just not $18 good. Like, come on. Like, the Spawn just released a bunch of figures. Todd McFarlane released a bunch of figures. They're about the same price. Those figures are immaculate. So much detail of amazing characters. These have minimal detail, and they're about the same price. Isn't that fucking crazy? Is that not crazy to anyone else? But they're still selling out all the time. And Super 7 does some really high-quality figures that are really amazing that I want, But then the price goes up even more. Those figures are like $50. And it's like, you fucking nuts, man. That's like the price of a statue. I can get like a nice porcelain statue for that price. They're just really overcharging, and that's crazy. So not a big fan of the Super 7 minimal quality figures, but Toxic Crusader was fine, whatever. And then we got a koozie in here from Spaceballs. They couldn't say that for licensing reason, but it's obviously from Barf of Spaceballs. I like koozies. I use them all the time, so I didn't mind that, but I don't know if everyone else would. I appreciate that, but I don't think koozies are as common as people might assume. I don't think that appeals to all ages. I know you can put them on a soda, but I've never seen a kid ever use a koozie. So, that's kind of a okay item, sure. And then we got a t-shirt of Goosebumps. Wasn't a huge fan of this t-shirt design. It was okay. It's not bad. But, the good thing about it is they've been doing just great quality t-shirts. The t-shirts have been absolutely immaculate. They've been very nice quality, very nice texture, very nice fit. So great. So even though I don't love the design, I'll probably still wear it because the t-shirts are just great. So keep up the good work on the t-shirts, you guys. I think they could use a little bit more design quality on the graphic, but that's just being nitpicky. Then we got a pin in here, and I think they may have heard me a little bit what I was saying before, because they do pin pals. They've been doing them for a long time, but they were doing series, the carded ones, and they would give you one of like 5 of a set. Now it seems like they're sticking to just one pin per box. I like that better, because if I do like the pin, I don't want to have to go search for the other 5 because they're going to be crazy expensive. I like that they just put one pin in there, and they have it in a nice little display box, so I like that. And, yeah, so I like that they're going that direction more. I think that's a smart move. One thing I didn't like, though, they did put a bag of Doritos in there, and I get what the joke they were going for from, obviously it's related to the pin from, what's the fucking movie with Fred Savage? They don't say the name of the movie. Anyway, you know the movie I'm talking about. And I get the joke they were going for with the Doritos, but I would highly suggest they don't do that because a few reasons. One, it's just loose in there. There's no bubble wrap in there, which is usually fine. Sometimes things get damaged, but not too often. And there's just a bag of chips rolling around in there. It's super easy for something to crush that bag, open it up, and then you got fucking Cheeto dust or Dorito dust all over your stuff. All over your collectibles, all over your shirt. Like, terrible idea. The other thing that happens with these bags, if they get too hot, the pressure gets too big and they burst, which again happens all the time in shipping. It's getting summer, and here in California, we're near the desert. It gets very hot. If something's on someone's doorstep in the sun, it could easily burst and again spray cheese dust all over your collectibles, making them worthless. So I thought it was funny, and I get the joke they were going for, but please, please, please don't ever put cheese dust chips in our boxes. I'm sure they've already learned from that. I'm sure it happened at least one time from this box, and they got complaints that there was cheese dust everywhere. So I'm sure they've already learned their lesson from that. No big deal, but yeah, please don't do that. So overall with this box, it was just okay. I wasn't a big fan of the Super 7. Shirt was fine, pin was fine, koozie fine. On to the next month, pretty much the same thing. We got another reaction figure from Super 7 of that $18 value of Andre the Giant. So I'm guessing they're trying to make a partnership with Super 7 here, which is fine. I fully support partnerships. Loot Crate used to do it all the time back in the day. This Geek Fuel did it with Quantum Mechanics. We got some exclusives from there. Absolutely fantastic. And if they could do some exclusives with the Super 7, that would be great. Again, I'll reiterate, I'm not a huge fan of Super 7, these $18 figures, but if it was exclusive, I'd be more into it, and that would increase the value significantly. A company that's already becoming very highly collectible and the value is really going up, to get something exclusive would be really great. So I hope that's a sign of things to come, that we're constantly seeing Super 7, that maybe we're going to get one exclusive figure down the line. If not, no worries, but we're just seeing a common pattern, and again, I wish they'd come up with some other collectible other than Super 7. Do Quantum Mechanics. I liked it when they did that. I love the Alien figure. I love the Venom figure. Please go back to Quantum Mechanics. They're such a better company, so much better to partner with. We'd love to see more of those, but, no complaints. Super 7's still good. And we got the, I just watched this movie the other day. We have the new Space Jam coming out, and we have a little water bottle that replicates, I guess you could call it a prop replica, of the one Bugs Bunny had at the end of the movie in the original Space Jam that says Michael's Secret Stuff. And, it's a water bottle, let's be honest. And it's printed on there, and there's nothing super special about it. It's not like a high quality water bottle. It's a very basic water bottle, but you know, it was kind of funny because I literally just watched that like last night, so I get the reference. Then we got a t-shirt from Punch-Out, which again, the design quality on it's fine, and that game was cool, but honestly, this is not their fault or anything like that. Honestly, at this point, Little Mac and Punch-Out, I feel like is more recognizable from Smash than it is from his own game. So to see them referencing Punch-Out is not as cool as them just referencing Super Smash Bros. I feel like he's more known for that game than he is his own game. But, you know, nonetheless, it's still a cool t-shirt. It's still a cool reference, 80s reference, so I like that, and the t-shirt quality is so nice. I'll at least wear it once, even though I wasn't a big fan of that game specifically. They still do such nice quality shirts, sure. And then Pin Pals, we got one that's not a person for once, which I liked, and we got Guts. We got the little mountain from Guts, and I like that. That was a cool show as a kid. I like that. I like that they're moving away from just doing the standard Pin Pals little person, so I like that they're mixing up and doing objects. I appreciate that, and it came in a nice little box. Sure. So again, these 2 months in a row, not bad, but just okay. Wasn't a big fan of the Super 7, and the drinkable item, the koozie, it was okay, like, and the shirt's nice, and the pin's good. So sure. So both months pretty much equal in quality. Not bad, but not as good as it has been in the past. Some of their other boxes were far better, and I'm sure that's just the natural way of things. Any company, month to month, it's not always going to be spectacular. Some months are going to be better than others. People have personal taste. I'm sure there are people that possibly like Super 7 better than Quantum Mechanics, and maybe they're happier. So I'm okay with that. That's fair. I switch it up. Sure, why not? But nonetheless, still a good box, still worth the time, still love the shirts. Now, let's go on to Loot Crate. Now, oddly enough, I have a lot to talk about for Loot Crate. Oh, sorry. Woke up. I can get the fucking box. Here we go. So, I have it pulled up on my phone here. Yes, this one was Mixtape. And this one, surprisingly, was pretty good. And that doesn't sound spectacular, just saying pretty good, but for Loot Crate, that's a big deal. Their boxes have been shit for the longest time, like a really long time. They have rarely had even one good item in there, and this one was actually pretty good. I think I actually liked everything in this box, which is mind-blowing because I just had pretty much given up all hope on them. But let's talk about it. So, first off, we got some glasses in here, drinkware from SpongeBob, and they went with the whole tiki theme. But, you know, they're actually nice quality. They're not plastic, they're glass. Some of the other, like, cookware or drinkware, whatever you want to call it from before, it was plastic. It's still usable, but it's just, like, so cheap, and it's, like, worried about melting in the dishwasher. But no, these are actually glass. And even if I'm not a super fan of the design on there, but it's still cool, it's still nice, and I like SpongeBob. And oddly enough, they said the voice of the Toxic Crusader was the same voice of SpongeBob, so it's oddly in the same theme. But yeah, that was really cool, and they're very nice in quality. So I was pretty surprised about that. They did a good job. Usually they put drinkware, the nice stuff, usually that goes in the DX box, because that gets the nicer quality stuff, and this box gets the plastic, but very nicely done. And they arrived safely, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Sure, why not? Then we got a pin, Rugrats' 30th anniversary, and this was much nicer too. They've been doing really crappy pins for a long time. They're carded, but they're always on that circle, and they're very, very basic. They're not bad, but they're just not great either. They're very minimal in quality, but this one's nice. The design of it's not amazing, but it's not the classic enamel pin. It's more of a textured gold pin, but it came in this nice box. It's very nicely done, has nice presentation from Rugrats. They did a good job in that too. I'm pleasantly surprised again. They went a different route, and they're doing much better. Then, the t-shirt. The t-shirt was awesome. They had a really cool design, Ninja Turtles on there, and it was like their own stylized thing. This may be from a comic I'm not recognizing. The artist didn't really jump out to me as someone I recognize, but this may be a design from a comic. I'm not sure. Or it may have been designed by them. I'm not totally exactly sure, but either way, really, really well done. And it doesn't look like it's stolen, because a lot of times when they steal images and put it on shirts, it's like a perfect square and it's cut off like that, and I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. This one, not the case. They actually have the design in there, and it has a shape to it. Very well done. And Loot Crate is, kind of hit or miss on the shirts. I feel like the quality goes down a lot when they make a lot of them. So sometimes they do nice quality shirts, but I feel like if they have a lot of orders, they go cheaper on the shirts. So you got like a 50-50 chance. So hopefully this is a nice quality shirt, and hopefully it fits well, because the design is really cool. Very nicely done. So, and again, not some crazy goofy ass color. I may just be getting cocky here, but I feel like they're watching my videos. I really feel like they're doing it, because all the advice I gave, it seems like they did it this box. Not some weird ass color. It's not like bright neon pink or bright green like all the other turtle shirts were. Like, I get what you're going for, but I'm not wearing a bright green shirt. Black shirt, cool design. Wow, good job. Well done. Then onto the figure. We had these stylized figures before. Now we got one of Star-Lord, and it's of just a classic bust of him. Nothing goofy about it. Like, they did those Spider-Man and Venom ones of those like carded action figures, which are super weird. And then they did 2 in a row of the G.I. Joe and Wonder Woman, which were very awkward and just poorly done and really disproportionate. And then this is just, it came out perfect. It's proportioned. It's well designed. It's sculpted well. Paint job's pretty good. It's not perfect, there's room for improvement there, but it's good enough. And they just made a classic bust in a regular pose. He's not doing anything weird or goofy. He's got a nice little base. It looks like him. Really no complaints about it. Like, damn, like, was that so hard, Loot Crate? Was this so difficult? Was this such a crazy idea to just do things a normal way, to just make a figure and make it look like the character, not have it with a huge ass and huge thighs, or a half action figure, half statue? Like, stop doing weird shit. Just do regular stuff. It's that simple. Just do it. Make it look regular. Done. You're done. Did a good job. Good job, Loot Crate. Thank you for listening. Because there's just so many weird things about every figure before. So it could be the theory I had before. I had this theory that we all know that NECA bought out Loot Crate, and that was like well over a year ago. I think it might have been 2 years at this point. And they kept doing crap. So my theory was that they were just burning off all the old Loot Crate stock. Like, maybe when the company went bankrupt, I'm sure they had tons of millions of orders from companies, millions of molds of figures. So maybe they were just burning off all the old stock, and NECA finally went through all that and started making their own stuff. It's quite possible. It seems like that's the case. This seems like NECA quality. That other shit does not. T-shirt seems like NECA. The pin, the glass, that seems like NECA quality. That seems like old Loot Crate quality versus that other stuff. So maybe that's true. Maybe they just finally burned off all the Loot Crate, and maybe NECA is finally grabbing this company by the balls and doing what they do best, which is great. I pray this is a sign of things to come. I hope this is the future of Loot Crate. I hope they start doing better and go this direction from now on. If so, I will be an avid subscriber, and I will happily promote this company yet again. And I'll start giving out that code that gets me free boxes, and maybe the world will be happy again. It seems like all is well now. But I'm not going to get too excited, because I've seen hopeful things from companies before, and it was just a fluke. For all we know, we're going back to the huge ass thighs of those characters we had last month. We'll see. But it is promising. I genuinely liked everything in this box, and I think this is one of my favorite boxes this month, which is crazy. I haven't said that about Loot Crate in like 3 years, but my mind was blown. The companies that are usually great were just okay, and the companies that are usually shitty did great. This is totally a backwards month, so who knows? But that was the month of May. That was all the boxes. This is a very long-winded video, but I had to tell the whole story with Zobie. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your experiences with these companies. Let me know what you thought about these figures. Let me know if there's a box you want me to try out. Even if they are crappy, I'll still try them. I'll still try them to review on this channel. I'll happily do so. And hopefully I do get another Zobie box, because I'd like to give them another chance, but, not making any promises. So those were the boxes of May. I'm pretty happy overall. I think I enjoyed all the boxes for the most part, or at least got something I really liked out of them. So overall, it's a pretty good month. We didn't see Pusheen box. That's quarterly. We'll probably see that next time. And I'll try to do these more often, so there's just one of each box. But, we'll see. It's kind of hard date-wise. I can't always plan it. Like I said, videos to look forward to. We'll do Nerdy News next week. Some cool stuff has happened in the past week that we'll talk about. And we got some cool movies coming up. Other than that, feel free to enter the giveaway. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Please subscribe to any social media you want to follow me on, and we'll talk there. Thank you all for watching and supporting. Woof! He's dead. He's passed out over there. Thank you all for watching and supporting. See you on the next video. Love you all. Peace.